Ladies and gentlemen, look like we may potentially be getting the first hurricane for this season. Actually, I think Hurricane Barbara was the first one the same day of the solar eclipse. So this would be hurricane number two, possibly in the next few days. So, right now, it's a tropical depression along the Gulf Coast this week, and it could strengthen into a hurricane. So, the second storm of the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season appear likely to form over the next couple of days. The National Hurricane Center said Tuesday that there's an 80% chance of a tropical depression will form this week in the Gulf of Mexico. Regardless of whether or not a tropical cyclone forms, the system has the potential to produce heavy rainfall along portions of the northern eastern U.S. Gulf Coast later this week. Okay, so they said the tropical depression winds could be 39 miles an hour, and it will be called Tropical Storm Barry. The possibility of intensification to a tropical storm or even a low end hurricane is real, particularly for the western Gulf Coast. So let's go down here. So they're showing you the area that the tropical depression is forming. It's a pretty wide area. At first development of the system will be slow, AccuWeather said. However, if the system remain offshore, it could gain strength at a fast pace and drift towards the central and western Gulf of Mexico this weekend. There are a number of petroleum rigs, refinery along the central and western Gulf Coast, and there may be considerable risk if the storm ramps up, develops to its full potential, and travels in that direction. AccuWeather meteorologist Alex Sanowski said, yeah, if you remember Hurricane Harvey, there were all kinds of chemical spills and oil that got into the water. Yeah, that was definitely a problem around Texas. All right, so they're just showing you the life of a hurricane. Starts out as a tropical wave, and then a tropical depression, a tropical storm, and then stage 4 is a hurricane. Lots of rain. Yeah, so heavy rain is possible for the upper Texas coast to southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and parts of the Florida Panhandle. The Weather Channel said up to 10 to as much as 15 inches of rain is possible. Woo, that's a lot of rain. Woo. 10 to 15, it's going to be a lot of flooding. CNN meteorologist David Hennon said, as of the latest model, runs midday Tuesday, there is growing consensus that Barry will develop in 36 to 48 hours and then slowly track westward through northern Gulf, tweeted BAM weather meteorologist Ryan Maw. Okay. All right, so landfall possible far from northeast Texas to Louisiana by Saturday. Wow. Yeah, you see, that thing is pretty massive. Okay. Yeah, well, the warm water is what fuels it. The storm could also produce wind and storm surge impact later this week or this weekend, from Louisiana to the upper Texas coast. The Hurricane Center warned. Tropical systems are occasional visitors to the U.S. in July. The most recent July hurricane to hit in continental U.S. was Hurricane Arthur in North Carolina in 2014, according to Colorado State University meteorologist Phil Klotzbot. I don't know. The most recent July tropical storm landfall was Tropical Storm Emily in Florida in 2017. The strongest recent storm to make landfall in the United States in July was Hurricane Dennis, which hit the western Florida panhandle on July 10th, 2005, as a Category 3 hurricane, the Weather Channel said. All right. We shall see. Definitely going to follow the weather very closely this year because we have seen some pretty biblical proportion weather this year so far. It seemed like all through the winter and spring, and now we are in the summer. And look, I even reported on a flood in DC. And it's been flooding all throughout my state and the surrounding states around me. A lot of flooding. A lot of flooding this year. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen, about this possible hurricane that we may be getting by the end of this week. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.